Hey Jack,
Hello, Duncan.
you've been playing this Deus Ex. Tell me about Mankind Divided.
Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the next entry in the long-running series. They are a series of action RPGs, first person, set in a kind of cyberpunk dystopian future. So this one and its predecessor, Human Revolution, which came out in 2011, that was sort of a reboot game. Took a new kind of take on the series. The augmentations and these like cybernetic limbs have always been present, but they traded out what just kind of looked like normal humans for these kind of cyberpunk, electronica infused, like, really, really loud in your face kind of robot looks. And the design's really cool. The last game had a very dark color palette, and this one's really traded it up for a bit more.
Well, there's some light right there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that alone is immediately better. I mean, the game's definitely a looker too. Like the other ones weren't really that good to look at, but this one is definitely a lot prettier. And I think the environment being Prague for the most part of the game, sort of Eastern European architecture, really lends itself to that. It's a very nice environment to walk around.
It's also not one that we usually see in video games.
No, exactly. No, it's a bit different for sure, and it's interesting because it plays a very big part in the political undertones of the game. Obviously, the augmented people become like segregated, so there's a lot of racial undertones there. Do they pull it off? Sometimes. It's the marketing material definitely didn't.
No, it did not.
It was absolutely awful. But in the actual game, you're kind of walking around and you'll see police lining up certain augmented people and they're arresting them because they don't have the proper documents. Or I noticed when I went into a subway for the first time, there was a guard that yelled at me, "Get in your own line, Clank," and there was a line. I noticed then there was a sign saying naturals and a sign that said augments on the other side, so they're quite literally segregating where you can go on trains and things like that. So very dark dystopian future. Now, in terms of advancements they've made from the other game, they've kept a lot of the same things that one has. So there's like the hacking mini games and stuff like that. They've added obviously movement mechanics, so there you just saw I mantled up a ledge. However, they don't do a very good job of distinguishing where you can go, so there I'm kind of jumping around like an idiot for a bit.
Invisible walls. Yes,
so it's a kind of open world. Like you've got playgrounds to go around, and this is definitely bigger than anything they created before. And
so long as you can jump in the right spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit finicky. As you can see there, I fall. Luckily, I see him before he can alert his friends and knock his lights out. Managed to get away with it. So, like I said, it's first person, but when you go into cover, third person. So it's kind of cool to be able to gain that sort of added perspective of the map and plan your attacks that way. So I'm kind of just deciding here how I'm going to go in to this encounter where there's a group of radicals who are shooting at this library. So
book killers.
Yeah, book killers. I don't know what it is about the books that they have a problem with, but they have some problem
Maybe
with books.
It's because all copies of 1984 have been banned in this universe.
Maybe. Or maybe they're trying to ban them so that people can't draw comparisons. But either way, it lends itself to a lot of punching men in the faces, so that makes for a great game.
It does.
This is obviously a bit of the augmentation screen, so Adam Jensen there with his cool 2004 goatee and sunglasses is your player avatar, and because so much of him has been augmented, you obviously have the ability to customize a lot of his things that he can do. You can punch through walls, fall from long distances, go invisible for a little bit, things like that. So
that's badass.
Yeah, he's a pretty badass person. They've really switched up how the mechanics, because it was like a battery system for the way that it worked in the old ones too. So the way that your abilities consume the energy that your suit has is a little different now. It's a little more forgiving, which I can appreciate, because before it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, it was far too hard. So yeah, it's a lot more accessible now, a lot more forgiving. And I mean, this sort of bit alone it's not just a clean sci-fi kind of world. It's very Blade Runner. Like
It looks real in that too. It's pulling this look off so well.
Yeah, it's very heavy, very mechanical and kind of clunky. You're one of the few people in this game that has like very clean augments. Like yours look really shiny and nice and all made of carbon fiber, but then everyone else has these very kind of, you know, paint chipped old sort of clanky things that just don't look very good. And I think that renders itself very well. And a big part of the game, obviously there's you know, commerce and things like that, so you can sell all the things you collect as you go, but conversation trees are a huge part of it. You know, you as this augmented person, you do play as as an Interpol agent, so you do go around investigating you know, different crime rings and stuff like that, and a lot of side quests take you to places where you have to interview people and try and extract information from people as well. So
like an updated LA Noire.
Yeah, so LA Noire, I mean a different level really, but what you're about to see now is indeed one of those conversations. It's one of the first ones I came across in the game, and so something that they didn't have in the previous game is due to some of the upgrades that you have and like your neural implants or your robotic eyes and stuff like that, you can actually, you know, follow the guy's heartbeat, you know, see his body temperature rise or lower, and see his pupil dilation. So you're really able to see, am I pressing the right buttons here, and am I doing the right thing? So, you know, obviously the conversation started with kind of a, you know, who are you? How do I know I can trust you? So I tried to dodge it, thinking I could pull it off, but it didn't quite work. Like he stayed neutral, he didn't get too mad with me, but I got a little concerned because his heartbeat stuttered a little bit, and I was like, oh, you know, I don't know. So it's interesting that way. In a minute you'll see, as I sort of compliment him and reassure him that I'm, you know,
probably on that banging shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what it was actually. It may be his necklace. His Mr. Fantastic hair. He's got a little salt in there. What do they call it? Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah, he's got a little salt and pepper in there. So yeah, I compliment him here, and you will see, you know, his body temp. He literally warms up to me.
That's adorable.
Yeah, we hugged it out, and we went and sat in the corner and drew with crayons. But yeah, you'll see his mood goes up into the positive zone.
Really up.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
it took was complimenting him.
Yeah, well, I think it just is putting yourself on the same level as him. But
I hope he's happily married.
Hopefully,
because that was a lot of confidence from one compliment.
Yeah. He hasn't been complimented in a while. But anyway, $1 million question out the gate. Overall, great game.
Excellent.
Really like it. Much a refinement and an improvement over Human Revolution. So I would recommend it.
Awesome. Absolutely. Hearing your confidence and watching this definitely has swayed me from the kind of iffy to very interested. If you've done the same, tell us. Comment down below, and make sure you keep it locked to Game Mates for more awesome, incredible content.